Hello and welcome into the Sean B. Show live stream. It is Tuesday. All right. I am here in the studio. It's feeling like a really good Tuesday so far. Got a lot done this morning. A lot of big things happening, okay? A lot of real office-y stuff I got going on in here today. So I looked at the clock and I was like, man, I got to go podcast. Because that's the point of this whole damn thing, right? It's the point of the whole damn mission is what we're doing here. So welcome into the live stream. Glad you're here. If you're here, if you're not here, still, hope you're well. Here momentarily, we are going to start podcasting. So we go ahead and get things going there. Looking good from that end. Let's go back here. All right, let's launch podcast. Why don't we? Okay.
You're listening to the Sean B. Show on Second String Media.
Happy Tuesday. Welcome into the Sean B. Show. It is Sean B. here in the studio all alone today. It is Tuesday, January 17th, the year 2023. And if you did not know, it is National Bootleggers Day. National Bootleggers Day. A day to, for whatever reason, celebrate the start of Prohibition in the United States. Prohibition, of course, ran from January 17, 1920 to December 5th, 1933. 13, almost 14 long years. It didn't seem so bad, though. The 20s roared. And then, there was this whole Depression thing. And, it just, Prohibition overturned, repealed December 5th, 1933. So, December 5th, we'll celebrate the repeal of Prohibition, maybe. I don't know. Depends on what the national day is. It is also National Classy Day. So if you felt like being extra bougie or extra classy, that is, today's the day for that. That's why I wore my Team USA curling shirt today. Sleeves cut off. Cold as shit in here, but, had to do it, because it's National Classy Day. And of course, we will be spending the late morning reacting to NFL Super Wildcard Weekend, which was a great weekend of football. Okay? Had a good time watching football this weekend. Had a good time betting football this weekend. A lot of things went well. A lot of things going right. A lot of things not going so hot. But look, we only lost 2 of our 10 exacta bets for the weekend, okay? The only 2 we lost the 2 highest paying ones, of course, because we had to throw Tampa Tom in on a couple. You know what I mean? So we lost the 2 highest paying exacta bets, but we only lost 2 of our 10 Super Bowl exactas. So we've still got some of those exactas out there hanging out. Odds have shifted on them a little bit, but we locked our odds in. And I feel kind of bad right now, and I'll go ahead and talk about this real quick because I only have San Francisco and Cincinnati in with each other on both sides. So if the Niners or the Bengals make the Super Bowl, I also need the Niners only or the Bengals only to make the Super Bowl. Niners Bengals is all I can have for those 2 teams. Otherwise, our bets are shit. And, I randomly drew those out of a hat to decide out of about 20 that I went through which 10 I was going to pick. And of course I had to throw Tampa Tom in there a couple times. And then I had to throw Rob's bet. Rob gave me the Philadelphia Buffalo prediction for the Super Bowl. So we had to throw those in. Still got 8 out of 10 going. We'll see how this shakes out. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll go through that here in a few moments. Got a few things to talk about before we start Super Wildcard Weekend reactions. Of course, there are other sports playing. Big things happened for the Hoosiers this weekend. The Indiana Hoosiers got a big upset over the Wisconsin Badgers, okay? Wisconsin wound up unranked. Of course, Tyler Wall, their leading scorer, out. But the Hoosiers win 63-45. And, of course, yesterday on MLK Day, had to watch Purdue edge out a nail-biter against Michigan State. The Big Ten's tough. Look, the Big Ten's no joke. Every team in this conference, top to bottom, I feel like can beat every team in this conference, top to bottom. As it sits right now, the only two ranked teams in the Big Ten, the Purdue Boilermakers, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Only two ranked teams in the Big Ten. I feel like that's a huge disservice to how good this conference is top to bottom, and we're going to see how that shakes out come tournament time. But injuries plaguing the Hoosiers, of course, a big injury plaguing Wisconsin. We'll see how these teams hold up. The attrition of a season, a long season. And, of course, like I said, every week in the Big Ten, you're playing other Big Ten teams that are good basketball teams and can win on any given night. Indiana travels to Champaign to play the Fighting Illini of Illinois this Thursday at 8:30 p.m. at the other Assembly Hall. And then Sunday, they got that Tom Izzo coach Michigan State team. And I don't care who you are. I don't care who he's got. You never, ever, ever count Tom Izzo and the Spartans out of a game, out of any game. Never count Izzo and Sparty out. Always dangerous. That's why he's one of the best of all time. And he really is one of the best of all time, Tom Izzo. A lot of people don't like him. Big fan over here. Tom Izzo, one of the best of all time. Easy NCAA tournament bet. Sweet 16. Like a master of getting to the Sweet 16. Just how they roll up there in Lansing. You know what I'm saying? As for the Pacers, we had talked about how well they were playing. Now, all of a sudden, we've got a little 4-game slide. Okay, a loss in New York. Home loss to the Hawks and Ja Morant and the Grizzlies, who are absolutely on fucking fire right now. The Grizzlies have won 9 straight. And then, of course, go to Milwaukee and lose the other night to the Bucks. Pacers have the Thunder tomorrow night and the Nuggets Friday night. Back-to-back in different, or not back-to-back, sorry. Friday, Saturday, they're back-to-back. They're in Denver Friday night and in Phoenix Saturday night. Back-to-back in different arenas. They have to do that twice in the next couple of weeks. So, tough road ahead for the Pacers, but look, it's going to be okay. Pacers right now, currently in that 8th spot. They're still a game above 500. They're going to be fine, okay? They're going to be fine. They still have not eclipsed that 23.5 win over-under total that was the preseason bet for the Pacers. We've been talking about that for a while now, and of course they've been on a 4-game slide. Still haven't eclipsed that number. You got to imagine they will, right? They're not gonna lose out. That sounds insane. Of course, we'll revisit that when the time comes. Right now, like I said, the Grizzlies red hot. I'm sorry, they've won 10 in a row. They are sitting second in the Western Conference with a 30-13 record, tied up there with the Nuggets, man. The Pelicans in the number 3 spot, Sacramento in the number 4 spot in the West. And that's just not 4 teams I would have picked, you know. I'm looking Suns. I'm looking Warriors. Surely to God, the Lakers are going to be good someday, but they are not good right now. The Suns are under 500, which is a shocking thing to me. So a lot of craziness in the NBA. But like I said, the Pacers going to OKC tomorrow night, 8 p.m., and then Friday in Denver, Saturday in Phoenix. So that's basketball news. That's basketball chatter. All right. I'm just that excited to get to Super Wildcard Weekend, but I've got some NFL notes outside of Super Bowl weekend or Super Wildcard Weekend. Lamar Jackson's teammates confident he'll get a deal in Baltimore. So there's a part of me, and like I said, it's a pipe dream, right? Like a guy like Lamar Jackson is a free agent, and you want to think, okay, the Colts need a young quarterback that's a stud. You know, that's a complete fucking pipe dream. Okay? But it's possible. And the money's there. And I bet they give him a long-term deal. Look, the Colts make bad quarterback decisions. If this one turns out to be a bad quarterback decision, it'll just be what the Colts do. But Lamar's teammates confident he'll get a deal done in Baltimore. I think the Ravens would be crazy not to. The only knock, and I will say the only knock on Lamar Jackson, durability, he has missed 10 of their last 22 games due to injury. 10 of the last 22 games Lamar's sidelined due to injury. That team, although without Lamar Jackson, put up a fight against the Bengals the other night. We'll get to that game here in a little bit. Teammates said he did everything he could to get back on the field. Mark Andrews says nothing but love and respect for number 8 as a teammate and a friend. Look, as much as you like to see the carousel go on, right? no matter what city we're talking about, whether it's Indy or another NFL team, these carousels of people moving around, it's entertaining. You also like to see a guy stick to a franchise for a career. And I obviously associate Lamar Jackson with the Ravens and want to keep it that way. That's how it goes. Jim Harbaugh is going to return to Michigan, says University President Santa Ono. I didn't know that guy's name was Santa Ono. Like, I didn't know Santa Ono was a thing until about last night when I see this, that he tweeted, the Michigan president tweeted that Jim Harbaugh would be returning, confirmed it with the athletic director. Santa Ono. That's the fucking coolest name in the history of names. If your name is not Santa Ono, you are not as cool as this guy. And that is just fact. There's nothing we can do about that. Santa Ono, University of Michigan president. That name is almost as bad as getting a face tattoo. If I'm looking at a resume from Santa Ono, you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. No. Harbaugh's going back to Michigan. The pipe dream of getting him to Indy that a lot of Colts fans have seems to be all but dust in the wind. As far as head coaching candidates that are big names, Sean Payton finished an interview with the Houston Texans. Why? Why on earth would Sean Payton go to the Houston Texans? The only thing you can prospect there is that either A, Davis Mills is actually good and just needs a coach, despite the fact that I feel like Lovie Smith did a great job, or maybe he likes one of these kids that are going to be able to get in the draft. I don't know. But Payton finished an interview with the Texans, wants to talk to Denver and Carolina this week. So Sean Payton seemingly coming back to the NFL. Doesn't seem to be even a question there. I feel like there are definitely better opportunities for him to get in and do something, especially like Denver's a shit show. That Indy's an obvious shit show. Houston looks to be a shit show. Houston's experiencing that fallout from paying the shit out of Deshaun Watson. And shit show. Shit show. Carolina actually looks like a destination. Carolina looks like there's something that you can work with there. Carolina made a push now. Worst division in football. The NFC South got a sub 500 team in the playoffs. But Carolina made a play at the end. They looked tough at the end of the year. They battled and looked tough at the end of the year. That might be a destination where a guy like Sean Payton goes and says, you know what, we're going to fucking do something. We've got pieces. We're going to make something happen. Sean Payton finished an interview with the Texans. The last place you want to see a guy like that land is in the same fucking division as us. And by us, I mean the Colts. Because, yes, I'm that fan that says us. Don't give a shit. Tua Tagovailoa confirmed by the Miami Dolphins that he is going to be QB1 for Miami in 2023. And, as long as he's healthy enough to play and they're not still trying to fucking kill him, that seems like the right move. Like Tua did a great job. The Dolphins much better team with Tua. I got to think full strength Tua beats Buffalo. Okay, because Sunday, Skylar Thompson, Miami damn near beat Buffalo. Couple of great football games on Sunday. Matter of fact, all three of them were great on Sunday. It was a great day to watch football. That Buffalo-Miami game lasted almost 4 hours. Marathon of a football game, but a great football game nonetheless. Nonetheless, a great football game. Okay. I'm going to start some jams here, and we're going to talk about Super Wildcard Weekend. Because what a great weekend in football. Like, it always is. It's the NFL playoffs. It's exciting. And it started on Saturday. Started on Saturday with the Seahawks and the 49ers. Now, I put a Facebook post out, a tweet out the other day on this Saturday when this went down. And I said, I'm never talking about sports on a podcast again. The Hoosiers win by 18. Not sure how they fucking did it. Even though Wisconsin's leading scorer was out, I didn't think Indiana had a chance missing Race Thompson and Xavier Johnson. But the Hoosiers win by 18 off great play from a double-double out of Geronimo and TJD. Anyway. So I was way off there. But then I'm watching Seattle, San Francisco, and I'm seeing the Niners, it was a good first half. Like Seattle went into halftime with a lead. Great first half. But I remember the prop bets I said the other day. I said Geno over 0.5 interceptions, CMC over 77.5 rushing yards. Niners going to win. All three of those hit. All three of those hit. The trifecta for the Seahawks-Niners game hit. So ultimately went right back to the internet. Listen to my podcast. Okay? You want more nuggets like this one? Listen to my podcast. Geno Smith, 25 and 35 for 253 and 2 tuds. That's a good ball game, despite throwing a pick. Kenneth Walker, not a lot going on the ground. Of course, this Niners defense is so good against the run. Kenneth Walker did get 63 and a tud, though. DK Metcalf, super stud. 10 receptions, buck 36, 2 touchdowns. DK Metcalf, of course, they had the long one from Geno. Look, the Seahawks in the first half looked like this was going to be a battle the whole way. San Francisco kind of took this game over in the fourth quarter. Took the lead in the third, established dominance in the fourth. Brock Purdy, 18 of 30 for 332 and 3 tuds. And I have had questions about this kid. Of course, you have questions about all kids you've never heard of. Iowa State quarterback. I mean, there's always the questions. And, of course, you know how good the San Francisco offense is around him. But, man, like to stand in playoff Sunday or Saturday, did a great job. 18 to 30, 332, 3 tuds. Christian McCaffrey, 15 carries, buck 19. Had a receiving touchdown of his own. Along with Elijah Mitchell, okay? Running backs and receiving tuds, that's part of that 49er offense, man. They just beat the shit out of you. They just absolutely beat the shit out of you. Deebo Samuel, 6 grabs for a buck 33. He had a tud of his own. It's good. Just a good day for the Niners, okay? Look, close game in the first half. Niners established dominance in the second half. This is going to be a very difficult football team to beat. A very, very difficult football team to beat. What a comeback was this Jacksonville Jaguars game. What an absolute comeback. This game was lopsided, dude. Absolutely lopsided. Chargers led at one point, 27-0. Jags get a kind of a garbage touchdown before halftime and then dominate the second half. Absolutely dominate the second half. Herbert went for 273. Dominate the second half. Chargers come back and beat the Jags. Jags come back and beat the Chargers 31-30. Walk-off field goal action. Okay? Now, this game I went only 1 for 2 prop betting. I had the Chargers, which looked really, really good with about 26 minutes to go in this game. I had Eckler over 38.5 receiving yards. Eckler didn't do that. Eckler caught what? 2 passes for 8 yards. I did hit ETN over 76.5 rushing yards. Of course, ETN had a great day. 20 carries, buck 09. But T-Law, baby. 28 of 47, never giving up. Did throw 4 interceptions, okay? He did throw 4 interceptions. It is hard to throw 4 interceptions and win a football game. T-Law did it. T-Law absolutely did it. We've got the turnover battle here. Just not good. Okay? 5 turnovers for the Jacksonville Jaguars to none for the LA Chargers. 5 turnovers to none. Chargers win the time of possession battle. Chargers had a few more penalty yards, but not a heavily penalized game for either team. Chargers were 8 of 17 on third down compared to Jacksonville's 2 of 10. Sheer gut and grit brought the Jaguars back from a 27-point deficit to walk it off with a field goal and move on to the divisional round. What a football game. I missed my bets, but hey, you know, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, it's wild card weekend, and you're going to get some crazy shit. Speaking of crazy shit, how was this game this close? How was this game this good? This game was supposed to be a blowout. I definitely had the 13.5-point spread for Buffalo. Okay? You do a straight-up pick on Buffalo to win this game, that's an easy pick. Or we think. What we didn't know was Skylar Thompson was going to stand in there and make some great throws. Look, he didn't have great numbers. Okay, he threw the ball 45 times, only got 220 yards. 1 tud, 2 picks. In fact, there's not a lot of mind-blowing numbers for either side of this football, with the exception of what we talked about earlier, Buffalo's turnovers. Buffalo's turnovers nearly killed them. Miami, a couple turnovers of their own, but Buffalo, 3 turnovers. Miami capitalized on every one of them. This is what kept the Dolphins in the game. The Dolphins defense looking like studs. Josh Allen just doing, unfortunately, what Josh Allen does. This is the 3rd worst team in the NFL for turnovers. Josh Allen throws a lot of interceptions. But look, it's that whole Brett Favre-like mantra, right? It's that gunslinger mantra. We're going to do this. We're going to make throws. We're going to make shit look impossible. And sometimes we're going to fuck it up. At the end of the day, Buffalo wins 34-31. What a tight contested game. Buffalo has to get a first down in the final seconds to steal the thing. I finally get to get up from watching this game. Did not know it was 5 till 5 when this game ended. That was unbelievable to me. Unbelievable to me. But Buffalo gets to win 34-31. What a great football game. Just to watch and be entertained by. A lot of big plays, a lot of things happening. For the Bills, Josh Allen threw for 352. I said he'd throw over 260.5, and he did. Elandon Roberts did not get the 5.5 tackles plus assists that I said he would. But hey, you know what? 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Buffalo gets to win. Moving on to the divisional round. Now, this game. We thought this game could be settled by a walk-off field goal. This game went down to the wire, too. Okay, up there in Minnesota. The NFC East doing what it do. NFC East continues to pound everybody. Some thought it'd be one of the worst divisions in football. Some thought it'd be the worst division in football. The NFC East still has 3 teams in the playoffs. 3 out of 4 NFC teams in the playoffs from the same fucking division. Okay, the Giants. Huge day. I said Daniel Jones would have to be the passer that he is normally not. Because the Vikings are an awful passing defense. Daniel Jones, 301 yards, 2 touchdowns through 24-35. That's a great stat line. That is not a Daniel Jones stat line, but that is a great stat line. Daniel Jones also 17 carries for 78 yards. Average 4.6 a carry. That's a quarterback. Saquon, of course, got in there and got 2 tuds of his own, only 53 yards. But hey, why do you need rushing yards when your quarterback's doing it all? It's worked for Baltimore for a few years now. Daniel Jones did a great job of just being the stud that the Giants needed him to be and kind of showing there why the Giants are in the playoffs, kind of showing why it was a correct move when the Giants took this kid out of Duke. He's done a great job. He's going to get paid, and he fucking deserves it. And I was not behind this I'm drafting Daniel Jones move that the Giants made when they did it. But this guy is absolutely done. Like I said, this playoff win here changes everybody's mind frame when it comes to Daniel Jones. This playoff win right here will get the guy paid. This is what will get the guy paid. Kirk Cousins, 31-39, 273 and 2 tuds, no picks. That's a good stat line, man. That's just it's consistent football. Not a lot of running game to speak of. Dalvin Cook got 60 yards on the ground. Cousins with the 1 rushing touchdown. TJ Hawkinson was their target of the day. 10 catches, 129 yards. KJ Osborne and Irv Smith Jr. both caught touchdown passes. Jefferson Justin is about what I just said. Justin Jefferson, relatively quiet. 7 grabs for 47 yards. Look, there's a lot of things to dive into in this game, but the reality is evenly matched game. No turnovers. Clean game. No turnovers. Not a lot of penalty yards. Look, 57 yards for both teams combined. Daniel Jones did get sacked 3 times. Like I said, just the Giants dominated time of possession. That's where you win these close games, right? Minnesota, 11 wins again in 1-score games this year. This is another 1-score game. They did not win because, again, when you dive into the numbers here, the Giants just had the ball more. Great football game. Great to watch. Not the outcome that I projected, but look, I got Minnesota wrong, but Richie James got over. No, he didn't. Dalvin Cook, no, 0 for 3 on this fucking game. I missed it all. That's okay. It's okay that I missed it all. Doesn't matter. Because sometimes you miss them all. Speaking of swings and misses, this Ravens-Bengals game, how about Joey Burrow being relatively quiet and the Bengals still getting a win? Okay? Huge play. Tyler Huntley thought he had a touchdown. Tyler Huntley did not have a touchdown, wasn't anywhere close. When, in terms of the game of inches, wasn't anywhere close. Obviously, he was about 6 inches off. But it was pretty obvious on camera Tyler Huntley did not have that touchdown. It was instead my guy, Sam Hubbard, going the distance. And Cincinnati kid won a state championship at Moeller High School right there in Cincinnati. Sam Hubbard taking that bitch all the way back, 98 yards for a tud. The big man going to get some oxygen after that play. That was the play of the game by far, maybe the play of the year. Took that ball right out of Tyler Huntley's hands. But look, Joe Burrow, 23 of 32 for 209 and a touchdown. That's not a Joe Burrow stat line. Joe Mixon, 39 yards, was their leading rusher. Jamar Chase did Jamar Chase things, 9 grabs, 84 yards and a tud. I mean, that's the offense in the game. The Bengals offense, relatively stagnant. Okay? Like, just not a lot happening from the Bengals. Tyler Huntley did everything he could, 17 of 29, 226, 2 tuds, threw a pick. Again, the turnovers, difference in this ball game. Bengals turned it over once. Ravens turned it over twice. 1-score game. Ravens actually dominated time of possession. They dominated total yards, dominated passing yards, dominated rushing yards, dominated yards per play. On paper, side by side, with the exception of third down efficiency, the Ravens looked like the better team in this game. Sam Hubbard, the difference in getting the Bengals onto the divisional round. But this was a fun game to watch. It was one of those two games. Okay, I had Buffalo winning huge. I had Cincinnati winning huge. But both of those games ended up being great. Actually, all 3 games on Sunday, just fantastic. What a treat. Monday night was kind of a treat, depending on your thoughts on Tom Brady. Because I tell you what, if you are a Tom Brady hater, which I am not, but if you are a Tom Brady hater, you loved watching football last night. Monday Night Football, because this guy looked like, I don't want to say it too horribly, but he looked like shit. 35 of 66. He threw the ball 66 times. Yeah, 351 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. He threw the ball 66 times. Leonard Fournette, 11 yards on the ground. 5 carries. Rachaad White, 7 for 41. We know Dallas has a good run defense. We know Tampa Bay's run game is not good. It's mostly because their offensive line is shit. Tom Brady trying to go out and win this game by himself, and I got to say, I 31 incompletions, and a lot of them looked really, really bad. A lot of these incompletions looked really, really bad. I'm sitting here and I'm watching the GOAT, right? And all you hear is chatter about how he should retire. Tom's got to retire. Tom's got to retire. Tom ain't got to do shit. He doesn't have to do shit. I really wish he'd have played well last night so I didn't have to hear all that shit. You get on today and there's this thing on ESPN narrated by Steve Young that's just like, everybody should know when it's time. And you never think it's time until after the fact. And then you realize it was time. Shut the fuck up. Like, Tom Brady can do whatever the fuck he wants because he was better than you. He was better than you, and you. He's the greatest of all time. And if you're going to tell a guy that he can still make $11 million, $12 million, $20 million a year, whatever it is that he's going to make a year if he signs next year, go get it. That's what you want to do. You want to be a 46-year-old quarterback? Go be a 46-year-old quarterback. There are a lot of teams who would benefit from having Tom Brady as their starting quarterback. But I'll be honest with you, man. Last night I'm watching him. A lot of throws short. A lot of throws didn't know who the fuck they were going at. That's a different guy than, like I said, even 2021 Tom Brady. Much, much different guy. I hated watching it. I hated watching it. However, oh, by the way, I forgot to talk about those Bengals Ravens props. Dobbins got his yards, Chase got his tutties, Cincinnati got their win. I'm back 3 for 3. Then, of course, we go to these Tampa Bay Dallas props that I had on the podcast on Saturday. Pollard got his rushing yards. Godwin over 7.5 receptions. He had 10 for 85 yards. The Bucs lost, which like I said, I went back and forth about this game all week. I didn't know it was going to be a blowout, and it was a blowout. Like, there was a garbage tud there at the end. I'm not going to say who, but I had a friend of mine who would have hit a parlay last night had that touchdown pass not rolled off Mike Evans' fingers and given Tampa Bay another garbage tud. But this game was awful. Awful from the start. Dallas, even in looking really good, Dallas managed to look bad. Even in looking good, Dallas managed to look bad. Brett Maher looked bad last night. How do you miss 4 extra points? I can't shit on him too much. I've never done it. Like, I've never kicked in an NFL game. I'm a backyard kicker. I just know that I watch other NFL kickers that don't miss like that. In a game where your team scored 31 points, the kicker had only 1. And that doesn't make sense whatsoever. No matter what, the Cowboys heading on, beating Tampa Bay 31-14. Another 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Look, I got to be honest, I didn't do bad this weekend. Okay? I had a lot of bets going, and I didn't do bad at all. I like those player props. Like, I like to look at, well, here's what this is going on, so blah, blah, blah. We knew Mike Evans was going to be covered up by Trayvon Diggs. Mike Evans still got his yards. Mike Evans didn't look like he was covered up by Trayvon Diggs, 6 for 74. Not a lot of Mike Evans yards, but not a bad ball game. Godwin, 10 for 85. Brady missed a lot of these throws. Like I said, the garbage shot at the end that rolled off Mike Evans' fingertips, yeah, maybe it was a little overthrown. This guy had two sets of fingertips on the ball. That's his touchdown. He dropped it. But outside of that one, man, Tom Brady did not look good last night. The Buccaneers suffered their final loss of the season, finished 8-10, losing record. A losing record for the first time in Tom Brady's career. Had a losing record as a starting quarterback. That's insane. I tell you what else is a first, though. The first time since 1997 that 3 teams from the same division are in the divisional round. It happened in 97 with the NFC Central. That's right. First time since realignment. The NFC Central actually got 4 teams to the playoffs that year. But 2002 realignment, 4 teams across 8 divisions, 4 teams per division. 3 of these teams out of 1 division still in the NFL playoffs. 8 teams left, 3 of them from the same division. It's insane to me, but it is going to be awesome. I cannot wait. There's no question the NFC East has more than 5 wins above any other division in football. No matter what we said, no matter what you thought, the Dallas Cowboys are 13-5. And the NFC East is what it is. Like, they're still there. Okay? So, look, divisional round. Not a lot to talk about in the divisional round yet. Of course, got to do some deep dives into these games. I'm just finishing up Super Wildcard Weekend, but Jacksonville opens plus 8.5 at Kansas City. That's going to be Saturday at 4:30 on NBC and Peacock. The New York Giants open at plus 7.5. They're going to be at Philadelphia Saturday at 8:15 p.m. on Fox. And then the Bengals plus 5 opening up against Buffalo Sunday at 3 o'clock on CBS and Paramount Plus. And then Dallas, the Cowboys, opening at plus 4 at San Francisco Sunday, 6:30 p.m. on Fox. So, yeah, that's football. That's Wild Card Weekend. What a great weekend it was. Okay? Absolutely jacked. Nothing to hate about the games that went on this weekend. Just fire. Just fire football all over the board. All right? Now, the picks didn't go the way we wanted to. Hell, I missed 3. I thought the Chargers, Vikings, and maybe the Bucks. I'm going to say I missed 2, okay? I was back and forth on this Dallas-Tampa. I mean, I guess if you have to pick one, gun to your head, before the game, I would have picked Tampa. But, Tom looked so bad last night. I feel so bad for him. But again, of course, today, you have to have a bad game. And then you have to get up next day. You got to know he has a cell phone. You got to know he gets notifications, people blowing him up. Hey, man, it said you're going to retire. Tom says, we're going to take it a day at a time. Which anytime somebody looks at you and says, we're going to take it a day at a time, what they're saying is, shut the fuck up. That's what they're saying. Tom, taking the future conversation a day at a time. Now, we don't even know what he means by future conversation. There's been rumors about him signing other places. The most notable ones I've heard in New Orleans. But you never know what. You've also heard going back to New England. Who knows? Who knows? Tom's single, man. Tom's got his whole life ahead of him. 45 years old, still got it. Greatest of all time. Doesn't need to prove shit to anyone. Do whatever the fuck he wants. I hope he gets 10 rings. I don't give a shit. Doesn't matter to me at this point. What I know is that in the realm of Super Bowl exactas, we are not looking terrible unless you consider the fact that the 49ers can't make the Super Bowl unless they play the Bengals. So, still remaining, we've got Buffalo beating Philadelphia at plus 1,200. Philadelphia beating Kansas City at plus 1,400. Philadelphia beating Buffalo at plus 1,800. And then we got Cincinnati beating San Francisco at plus 2,000. San Francisco beating Cincinnati at plus 2,500. Buffalo beating Dallas at plus 3,000. Dallas beating Kansas City at plus 3,000. And Philadelphia beating Cincinnati at plus 3,000. A lot of these have shifted. The odds actually decreased on a lot of these. What I hate is that the odds decreased on both the San Francisco Cincinnati exactas. If there's a chance that you picked the Super Bowl correctly, and you picked that it was going to be San Francisco Cincinnati, which maybe I have, I don't know. But if there's a chance you got that right, there's opportunity there to make a lot of money. You start going side to side, there's opportunity there to make some real money. So I'm pretty stoked about that. We'll see how it all shakes out. The NFL playoffs, always exciting. And yeah, that's the gist of that. Super wild card weekend in the books. We've had a lot of fun. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to dive in on Thursday this week. We're going to kind of take our initial dives into the games here. And then, of course, on Saturday, we'll go into prop betting, player props. Here's why this player is going to do this and whatnot and this and that. We got the Pacers Thunder tomorrow night. Of course, we'll talk about that on Thursday. Got the Nuggets coming up on Friday. And then a big weekend with the Suns on Saturday. So, Indiana basketball, the Hoosiers, Thursday night at Illinois. We'll do a little pre-gaming for that on Thursday. I'm just really jacked, okay? And above all this, and I know that a lot of people aren't with me on this, but above all this, spring training just over a month away. Actually, not even a month away. No, it starts up February 14th, Valentine's Day. So, yeah, we're inside 20 days. Spring training rapidly approaching. I feel like it was just like 3 or 4 days ago that I told somebody it was in 40 days. So, go Fighting Illini. What are your personal picks? We're doing I have till 4 p.m. Saturday for family pick'em. I'll give you my picks on I'll give you my initial picks on Thursday, but the picks that I give on this podcast on Saturday will be my official picks. That's what we'll do. So, yeah, you'll get your picks last minute, just like I always do. I don't mess around. I know who my fantasy football keepers are, though. This should work out better for me next year than it did this year, but I've got Jonathan Taylor and Josh Allen on my fantasy team, and my fantasy team was fucking terrible. I mean, just fucking terrible. That's how that bounced. I can't help that. Okay, I can't go play for them. I promise you it'd be worse. But this has been the Sean B Show. I'm going to wrap it up here momentarily. I've got a couple of tidbits for you. Listen, you could go get Second String Media branded products. That's right. T-shirts, hats, water bottles. You want a little onesie for your baby that says maybe Sean B Show or Mind Snacks Podcast on it? Go get it. Just go to secondstringmedia.net to the Second String Media store and order some shit. Okay? It's that simple. It's right there. Great store. Look, do the ordering right there. They ship it. It's great stuff. Right now, free standard shipping for the next today and tomorrow and till the end of Thursday. Yeah, through the 18th. Free standard shipping on the Second String Media store. Secondstringmedia.net. In the blue banner, click Second String Media store. It's all right there. Okay? So, and with that free standard shipping, get you some. Get you some. Couple things, couple shout outs here. Edge Construction, masters of all things construction. Of course, they help us out with this nice studio space. It's the Edge Construction Studio. That's why we named it that, because it's here. Okay? Masters of all things construction. If you're listening live, go to your phone with your construction issue and dial no other number than 812-343-3035. Call my friend Brian. Tell him the Sean B Show sent you. It's going to work out good for you. Little site development, maybe some dirt work. Hell, whatever you need. These guys, they do it all. They're awesome. And they're studs. They're good dudes. Love them. Just like Home Doggy Daycare. Hey, look, do you need a place to take your animals when you're out of town? When you're at work? Maybe you've got to work a long weekend? Whatever it is. Look, daytime daycare, overnight stays, weekend stays, long-term stays, whatever it is, she'll work with you. Just Like Home Doggy Daycare on Facebook or on the web at justlikehomedoggy.com. Guys, once again, it's Sean B Show. I'm Sean B. I'm getting out of here. I want you guys to do me a favor and have an excellent Tuesday. We'll see you Thursday.